In today's video, we are going to be doing something different and just do random Q&A with some random people I met at this event. All right, starting it off. What is one thing that's working right now in marketing, online biz, ops, any of the things?
Low ticket ascension offers.
Low ticket ascension offers.
Not an SLO. SLO, self-liquidating offers, when people run you through like fucking 7 or 8 upsells and downsells to squeeze all the juice out of your ass.
Roll of it.
No, finding smart people is working.
But low ticket ascension offer is you jam all the AOV into the checkout step, and then you go right to the call, because then you get 80% of people to book a freaking call after they buy, and then it cuts your CPA to acquire a client. Like,
so you're not doing upsells or anything. You're just trying to push everything in the cart.
Not even right now, but yeah. But we will put everything on the checkout page. It'll be like radio button upsells.
How many?
2, but you can have 3. I've seen people have 5 radio button upsells before, and I've had up to 3 add-on like order bumps. But I've seen 1 or 2 does best though.
Yeah.
Next, who else got one? What's working now?
Finding smart people and good people is working. It's I think a timeless strategy. It's definitely working now.
Where do you find them?
Where do you find them?
I made a whole
Ryan's
video
Twitter.
on this. My Twitter. No, I made a whole video on this talking about private versus public hiring versus like sources. Like if you're hiring a copywriter versus an HR director, like the Nothing Held Back group, for example, is like this pocket of like people you can hire for this, but then you're not going to hire 92 other positions that from there.
And then having good shit. When you have good shit, it's easier.
Good brand, good known. It's real.
Have something substantial and be talented yourself.
Yeah, all right, Cody, what do you got that's working now? You're the only one that's not as online marketing-y.
Not an online marketing-y guy. So I'm just gonna go with just something like tactical and just like on the topic of hiring. So I'm just gonna take that and run with it. So I would say something that's working and that I learned the hard way was correctly like giving the right titles to roles in your company. A lot of times when I'll work with companies and it's like you go in and they're doing $700,000 a year and it's like they got a CFO, a CEO, a CMO, and a COO, but they're really just like a bunch of task runners. And so it's like I think it's important that you like actually properly give the right title, because it's bad for the person and it's bad for you, because if you hire your cousin and she's your bookkeeper and you call her your CFO, then when you get to $3 million a year, she can't do any CFO stuff, and then you have to either fire her or downgrade her role, which is also not fun to do. So just correctly titling roles for the functions they actually do.
I like that one.
Solid.
And in classic fashion, I'm not going to dox or say anyone's name or anything or say what anyone does.
His name's Cody Barton. He's rich and successful.
All right, we'll cut that.
What color is your Lamborghini?
Yeah, what color is your Lambo?
One thing that's been working super well for Ascension, this is sending you into software to book a call, anything, is I just call it the 1 hour fast start, because sometimes when people buy like an ebook or like a low ticket product, they don't actually consume it. So what people do is have like a video series to try to teach the philosophies and then sell them, but no one would even watch that. So what I do is I run a campaign. You can do it evergreen or once a month, but we can just say like, hey, you probably bought this thing, you probably didn't go in and watch it. We can actually see the stats. 90% of you didn't, but we want you to win so bad that we're hosting this workshop. It's 1 hour long, and we're going to teach you everything you need to know to get started in 1 hour. So we get them on there. We teach them. It's a teaching webinar. It's pretty much like a normal webinar.
Free?
And then, it's free, just for buyers. And so it's all buyers there. Then at the end, you make your pitch. Say like, hey, this was great. Just like before, you might not do anything with this. So get our done for you thing, or get coaching, get accountability, whatever. And so we just run those. And then, I was talking to this other guy, and he started doing 1 a week. So there's 4 different calls and 4 main topics that are taught inside of that product, and they're evergreen. So you can use Stealth Webinar. I'm starting to use A-Event, so that's a good one. And so buyers are getting a live simulated Zoom call, and you get on the Zoom call and so you run it live once.
That's a good idea.
You record it.
But it looks like a Zoom?
Yeah, it's on Zoom. It's an A-Event. Yeah, it's a high. So I talked
to
A-Event. They work way better.
Yeah.
They're way better converting higher. Webinar Jam, Easy Webinar, because it's Zoom. So people are like, oh, it's a Zoom call.
We should run that entire thing on.
Because also fitness, it's like you
on our
and at the end, it's like, well, you flip it. It's the easiest argument to the back end, because it's like, here's the thing. you had all this information in the course you bought, but you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
What's going to change tomorrow? Book this call, accountability.
What's working for you right now, Ryan?
Well, you guys are on the same team as me, and those two things are working. So finding good people, the ascension funnel. Anyone who watches, anyone who's on this channel knows that the ascension funnel is crushing for us right now. What else is working for us right now?
What about your other funnel? Like your other funnel, is it still working fine? Your VSL book call?
VSL's yes, but
Yeah.
we're using Blake's. Sorry, I doxed you. You're using your value vortex situation. The one that's not working for us right now, but like secretly is the DTA. That will, which is our direct to app funnel. But I talk about that a ton. But no, here that actually rolls into this good. So the next one is, what go-to tool or system are you using that's quietly driving results? So like that was a fire one. I didn't even know about that.
Yo, what about the thing you told us about the lead content campaign?
Yeah, I mean that's working right now. It's just bottom of funnel nurture towards leads and apps who have come through your funnel and are likely to book a call, as far as like getting higher quality book calls in a sense, right? Because you brought that up earlier, which is like
The hammer them one?
we were talking about, like, is that actually influencing it? And I thought about that a little bit more, which is we cut down the VSL from like a longer VSL to a lot shorter. But one thing that I think, to go back to your question, was I think in a sense it is helping the lead nurture to book calls, because there's a trust factor or a trust recession around leads who have gone through other coaching programs in the past and are worried about booking a call because they know that a call is not a strategy call, right, or a blueprint call. It's a sales call.
Yeah.
So I think it can be, in a sense, like I would like to dig into that data, but I am curious, like, if the people who are leads but haven't booked but have gone through the app,
It's like getting the quality.
it's getting the quality to book.
So this is like, so everyone understands what he's saying. So I've talked about like the hammer them. Shout out Jeremy Haynes, talks about that, where you're basically running testimonials, pre-objection blocks, stuff like that as video views between when someone's booked and when they get on the phone call. He's talking about doing it prior to the phone call for people to get on, but still no like retarget where you're sending them directly to book. You're just literally just in their face all the time.
Yeah.
With what kind of content?
Just belief shift, objections, whatever's gonna come up on the sales call, basically.
That's interesting.
Authority content too?
Authority content.
Like
yeah,
speaking
really,
on stage?
Yeah.
So like this is interesting. Like we don't do this. So like us rolling this out could be like a 2, 5, 10% lift, and like that's
Opportunity lift.
Opportunity lift.
We're
is
gonna
what
do
I
it.
say. That's
Dude, and
interesting.
then I think just like a timeless thing to bring up too is, it is shocking how many people, because I did some consulting with people who are trying to scale like some low ticket funnels or VSLs or whatever, and it's shocking to me how many people don't actually run like financial models or economics on their funnel. And they're like, oh, I need meta ads, I need more creative, I need whatever. And it's like, do you really need that? Is it just like CRO?
What are you doing? Oh my god. Get out of here.
Cloud chasing.
Oh
me,
my
bro.
god. Okay, that's
I'm on
good. No, but
Twitter.
what else? Tool systems, like tech. So that was a good one.
Yeah.
That's like a tactic that would probably crush for us.
I could plug another one. I mean,
I got 2 ready, so go for it.
all right. One we're going to roll out more is HeroPixel, just data enrichment. One thing we're going to try.
ChatGPT wrapper.
It's a ChatGPT wrapper. Makes faceless digital. No, I'm joking. But what we're going to try is, after someone opts into our webinar, it's like, what if before they go to the automated on-demand version, we could pull their, like, see their data, how much they're making, and based on how much they're making, we send them to a webinar where at the end there's a specific payment plan or financing or pricing that fits best for them. So we're going to be rolling that out and segmenting it, but it's good for
What are you
book a
using?
call. Just HeroPixel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't use it right now, but those LeadFi guys, Douglas, they do that too. And we were talking about doing that, but the only thing that we would do for that is arm the sales reps with the data, because we don't collect the phone number. You need name, email, phone number in order to pull it. So you'd either have to do it for us, either post application or post purchase of the low ticket, and you can't real time route them. You like kind of can, but you have to do like a loading screen and all that stuff,
Yeah,
which like it just seems like overkill right now. So just give the sales reps to know how much total credit they had, how much, like basically what's currently on there, and then also they have like this weird blended metric that's like what they could access for like a firm or Klarna or wherever.
We don't.
But
I think that's
we
a
for
good
sure
thing.
want to use it. It's like you either do it with more volume, so you segment the leads you want to hit, or you do it like
Yeah.
you're saying, like post-purchase for Ascension.
Or we'll just like scan our list before we do a webinar, and then just we do like activation campaigns, and we only run it to people who can afford it. So imagine you're only emailing people who can afford your back-end offer,
That's a good one.
and it's just freaking. You go, all right, guys, and you only send it to them. And you're like, yeah. So you can get very specific because in today's age, where whatever money isn't as accessible supposedly to people, or they need to pay in different ways, then I feel like it's going to be big to segment where you're sending these people based on how much they can afford.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to scare them away. Because even if you do a webinar where we pitch there's payment plans, we pitch the $997, we see people bounce off because they're immediately afraid. But imagine if they jump on and we have a price point or payment plan that makes sense to them there. And so the conversion rate will go up. We might not lose them as much, or they won't be in the chat being like, what the frick? Like,
Yeah.
Like we saw,
Yeah,
I
no,
saw
that makes sense though.
like Iman Ghazi's recent launch he did when they dropped the price at $1,500, which isn't even that much for like a business opportunity. The chat was just like they're all getting mad.
Really?
Yeah, I have a video of it, and obviously it's YouTube, it's public. That doesn't reflect the launch did crazy, but it just shows people's like immediately like what the they forget the bonuses and like what the heck, they all mad. So
This costs money.
yeah,
Someone at dinner last night was talking about how someone had like a, call it 300-ish product that was direct to cart, and they blasted it and did like over 20 and like did over 20 million, just like bink, doing that. Not on even like a live like,
Yeah.
video series launch, nothing, like literally
Bro.
just a launch.
mid-ticket is
And I was like, what?
mid-ticket.
Just like direct access and then community. That's like just
Yeah.
like evergreen, not even like drip or not like.
That's wild. One other thing I just thought of just on launches is so over the past year we've run challenges every month for one client, and one thing that we started to do for pre-qualification and also for show rates was just getting people to go through a quiz on the thank you page.
Yeah,
That was
Oh,
a
yeah.
I was
score
wondering how
app.
people do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why
So-
do they do it? Yeah.
So we'll build a score app on the thank you page, but we kind of like rigged the score app to be no one can get over like a 65 or 70% in terms of like their score, and the quiz is framed as like a pain thing. So it's like
It's like
discover
I can't get
your
there on my own.
discover
Can't get there on my own.
it's like
Savage.
it's like discover how likely you are to build muscle or whatever, and it's like they just can't get over 75%, so then they feel like they need to show up to the quiz.
What are they? And then, yeah, so for the call,
That's
I was gonna say because you built one that's on the back of. So for us, it's low ticket.
I don't know this guy. But
Yo,
we
It's
found him in the hallway.
it's ours is low ticket ops, low ticket purchase, then book a call that's like a quick starter, implementation, whatever call, and then on the thank you page of that is an app that you put on there that
Yes.
has free form questions and stuff.
Yeah, so it's like
Wow.
it's positioned as like an intake form or an onboarding form, and originally I made that form for a different offer, and I wanted to just get like market research data. So I was like, hey, why did you buy it? Why did you almost not buy it? What were the bonuses that were like most attractive to you? And I was going to use that data as like market insights, which I did. But then I actually ran like a meta-analysis on like all the buyers who filled that out, and they were about 4 times more likely to ascend into the back end or higher ticket products than people who did not fill out the form. And then I found an even higher correlation between first purchase order value, so like their initial AOV when they bought the low ticket, and if they filled out the intake form, they would ascend at like 11 point something percent versus like 3%.
So do you think that's like it? Is there a way to make more people fill it out and it'll follow that, or do you think it's just inherently like the people who do it? Like
I
those
don't,
people
I don't know.
already
I don't know if
exist,
it's
you know what I mean?
causation or correlation.
Yeah.
But I think not
interesting.
having it is not a good
But
idea.
I've seen people do it even on. I always wondered why it's there, because people do it on like free webinars or free challenges, and I fill it out and nothing happens. But it must be doing something good or crushing.
Yeah.
So,
All right, what else we got on here? What else on the tech side of things? We've got we got someone else joining us here today. This is just raw. We're just shooting the shit.
Okay, cool.
What else in software though? Anything else that's on that?
I mean, it's not really software.
I was gonna say, what are you using AI wise or something in marketing, media buying, creative world?
I love Clogg right now for reviewing copy and making different voice styles. So you just take like the VSL or even like YouTube content or whatever, take the transcript and then make a style in Clogg, and then you just paste the raw text in, like 30 minutes of somebody talking. It'll give you like an amazing voice and style. And then if your copywriter wrote like a whole VSL, which like we just did, then I can say, hey, like rewrite this whole thing in the voice and take it from, like, score it first, and it'll say, oh, this is like a 70 out of 100. And I'll be like, cool, rewrite it so it's 100 out of 100 and bang on with this style. And then you plug in the style, hit extended thinking, and then it'll just rip like a really badass VSL or ad script or anything you want.
Yeah, you were telling me about the scoring one. How you like scored the VSLs?
Yeah.
What is that based on though? What did you feed the AI? So like, who says it's a 10 or like a 100?
Shout out to Peter Kell.
Dude, I do that all the time. I'm like, oh, we bought Peter Kell
dude,
scores. We bought Jeremy Hayes and stuff. Like, I buy everything.
Peter Kell's got like a VSL assistant like prompt or whatever that he uses. But like, even if you don't have a prompt, you can always say like, hey, based on the, like, if you're doing like a web page. Actually, that's the thing I've been loving doing with CRO, is screenshotting like the mobile above the fold of the funnel, giving it to Clogg, and then saying like, hey, act as if you're a conversion rate optimization expert with like 20 years experience, or pretend that you're Chris Goward, because that guy has like a sick book on CRO, and then like rate the conversion elements of the page out of 10, and then like give me suggestions on like how I can make this page way better and beat this as the control. And then it'll give you all the suggestions, and you just say, hey, can you mock this page up? And then it'll literally like build a demo page, like a wireframe.
Like the design of it? Oh,
it'll design it, write the copy, plug everything in, and you can like literally publish it as an artifact, send the link to your funnel builder developers or whatever, and they'll just have like at least they can have a visual, because usually you're giving like the funnel builder ideas like in writing, but if you can give them a visual,
yeah, that's interesting.
and you don't have to like mess around in Figma for an hour, you can just do it.
I'm gonna shut up about marketing after this, but something that everyone always asks me, and I'm like, this is not my expertise, and like you two are gonna know this, you're gonna like all of you, we're not gonna know this as well, but like everyone always asks, what is, simply put, like short-ish answer on how you would like start a campaign, or how you would basically do testing in the beginning, like literal structure of the camp and like optimization on something. For example, let's just use the VSL call funnel. If you were running one from scratch, how you would start it with testing, like ad breakdown, campaign, and then once it's in scaling, how you'd run that. ASC, if you'd run ABO, you do CBO, you break these.
That's loaded.
It's not, but like, no, but seriously.
Short answer.
Yeah, short answer. No, because there is a
CBO.
There is a, exactly, yeah, scaling CBO. But like, no, honestly, like, because that's one that happens all the time, and I'm like, you can look at YouTube videos where people talk about this forever, but like, I never say like in the trenches this is what's happening.
Okay.
Because I don't. Because
try your best.
Dude, that's a long answer.
Okay, I'll see if I can go
Do
quick.
the chat
Use the
marketing.
surf method.
Surf scale. Yeah.
Surf, I forgot about that. That's like an OG
It's like
term.
a
Dude, just
game.
100K a day, just dump it.
Just dump a CBO.
Big
Call
caps.
it.
Say your big caps in like $1,000.
It'll maybe
Just
work.
rip.
Come on, what is it?
Okay,
Ish.
so like if you were to start, whether it's like a low ticket funnel, call funnel, whatever, like from scratch, I personally have found the best results doing ABO campaign, and it's like your creative testing, because like you don't want to just like throw all the shit at the wall. Plus, when you do graduate stuff to bigger scaling campaigns, Facebook actually just found this out on Monday, talking to our Facebook rep, that preheating ads is a thing in Meta, that they actually want you to validate spend on an ad before you move it to a scaling campaign. And if you ever graduate stuff like into your main campaigns that are already spending a lot, those ads usually won't earn anything if you like make them and they don't have spend behind them on the post ID. So anyways, it'd be like one campaign, obviously, but it's on ABO.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
So it's ABO, and you just every single ad set you have the same creative. So let's say you have 5 videos and 2 images or something. So you'd have 7 ad sets, and every ad set is only that creative, and it's the same creative in both ads. And then the only thing that's different is like the copy or the headline, or just like a different variation of like the hook if you want, or something like that on the creative side. And then every ad set has the same structure. So it's like every ad set is 2 ads, but each ad is the same creative, just make a different copy variation of it. And like I've started those, and you get like really good cost per call because the budget's lower. So you start the budget, by the way, really low, because then you're forcing Facebook to just get you something for the spend. The CPA is way lower. It's not sustainable, but then you'll at least find whatever ad creatives you can then use. So let's say out of those 5 videos and 2 images or whatever that you ran, one of the images pops and does really well and the CPA is really good, and then like 2 of the videos are really good or 3 of the videos are really good. You take those post IDs and then you move it into a CBO at like a more ideal budget, which is like whatever that calculation is. You try to reverse engineer your CPA so that you can get 50 conversions in a week and on that campaign.
And that's why that's how you're choosing what you're optimizing for based on that?
Yeah.
Oh, the budget.
Got it,
Yeah, I
Cody?
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cody, is this making sense right now?
Your quiz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zero
pop
quiz.
after.
There's actually a challenge.
Yeah.
It's rigged though, so
So,
you're never gonna be
To
able
put
to-
simply,
can
that's
only
how to
score
start.
so
Yeah, yeah.
It's rigged.
Okay, and then you drop those in a
To
scale.
put simply,
Yeah.
that's how
Okay.
you start.
I mean, no, that makes sense though. Literally, the amount of times that comments, DMs, whatever, that people ask that, and I'm like, there are so many people like on YouTube that talk about this.
So you should I think fundamentally isolating variables.
Isolate variables, then you move them into the big campaign only when they're proven.
Nice.
Boom.
Hey, that would have been nice. You
Look at
said
that.
it.
Boom.
No, I know a dude
That's good,
who's
though.
literally doing that with the freaking load ticket. He's got no high ticket on the back end. Last I checked, 50K a day. I saw the sheets, and
In
he's
cash or in?
that's just
This
load
is
ticket
how
on
to
the
put
front
your
end,
baby to bed or
profitable.
whatever.
No, that's a good one too. Nursing's also a good one too.
He's
Um,
doing 50K in like revenue cash bucks.
Yeah, cash day, low ticket up front, profitable company, and he's doing. I was like, bro, how do you run ads? And he's like, oh, I just freaking throw in a CBO, and you just isolate a variable, and you freaking throw in a scaling thing. He's like, yeah, I don't really know. I just make. He's really good ads. All he thinks is, how do I write really good ads? He wakes up. It's kind of like Mr. Beast. He's like, make good videos. He's like, just make good VSL ads, 10-minute VSL ads. That's all he does. I'm like, that's
On
it.
platform, 10-minute VSL ads?
Yeah,
on
yeah,
platform.
on platform. It is in health. So you have to think about what's the market. It's health. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
supplements. So obviously, if I'm in like biz op or other things, or a relationship, I probably wouldn't do that. But health specifically and female market, I would do that for
Chill.
sure.
Chill. Nobody running that market, by the way.
Doesn't
If I was in,
All right, we're
Doesn't work.
We're bringing, yeah, exactly. That market's terrible. They have no money.
yeah, it's saturated.
It's super
so
saturated. So bringing Cody back into this, and then everyone. What are we at, by the way? Minutes 22. Cool. What part of a current model you're running in your business or otherwise is not scalable? And what's your plan to change
question.
that? And that's just like the idea behind, are you doing something on purpose that's not scalable, or are you doing something on accident that you're just like, we just have to do it?
That's
And
a
are
great
you-
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say the one thing that I'm doing right now that's not scalable is I'm going to more events and speaking and doing things like that to just kind of ramp up one of the businesses that I'm involved in as I'm working on paid ads on the back end just to get more momentum going. So I don't see it as scalable because the life that I'm designing doesn't involve me going to events very frequently. So it's not scalable because I choose to not want to do that. So that would be the biggest thing. And then what was the other part of the question?
Well, then I guess that you already kind of answered it. The plan to replace that is you're doing paid ads in the background.
Doing paid ads in the background. And I mean, for anyone like in getting their offers up off the ground, I think organic and just brute force at the beginning really can just get momentum going. So I think that's the thing I'm doing right now that don't want to do long term, but is a good short term thing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You said ours before this, but I think it's funny.
What?
What you think is not scalable that we're currently doing.
With the low ticket. No, I think that if I was to answer that, I would actually say that VSLs are not as scalable as people think, and if they are, you're probably doing something borderline illegal or not FTC compliant. I mean, just
I've
straight up.
said on this channel, like, yeah, we've done 70 million through one VSL.
No, but you did 70 million over a certain number of years.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That I think it's like
3.
there's like a VSL will have like a limited scale potential because you're always hammering the crap out of that top 3% of the buyer pyramid, which will replenish. It doesn't just like go away. It's always being refed. But until you
that's fun. So like you're saying, if you like hammer it, like
If
it's
you
not,
hammer it,
but
like,
if the
way
market is
too hard.
replenishing, I got it. That's interesting.
so like you can ride it, but like once you get to, if you push it too hard too fast, then you'll usually break it. Like really, that's why you're like, if we went to like 50K a day and spending the whole thing broke, and we went back to 25, then all of a sudden it starts working again. And it's because like it doesn't have to like force itself out of like the pool of the shit that's working. and then like that's why the low ticket works so well. That's why organic
Can I play
content.
devil's advocate?
Sure.
Do you think there's a message that could work on a larger pool?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
But it has to be transition from unaware to
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
have your lift,
that was kind of
what it
Blake.
costs.
That was,
Yeah.
that was his answer before this about low ticket, about where it is in the like awareness.
Yeah.
It can only get to 150.
Let
to
me
whatever.
say it this
Which
way:
just extends
being
the
over
VSL.
being
Yes,
over
exactly.
reliant on one acquisition funnel style it's very dangerous. You need to have the value. You have to have the fucking. You got to get the value vortex, boys. okay?
Okay, we got
So-
it now. Thank you for that.
You have to have like
BV, another.
There's
There's another
There's
term
another
we're gonna
thing.
throw in.
So
Yeah.
like
Value
Value
vortex,
vortex.
camera.
like generating leads is valuable. Like I used to be like hardcore DR, and I thought that like branding and stuff like that, or like engagement campaigns and content didn't matter as much. But like brand awareness campaigns are inherently valuable if you run them long enough. Most people don't run them long enough. Lead gen campaigns are valuable if you're running a call funnel, because then those leads will end up finding their way to your conversion campaigns. Low ticket is valuable because it keeps feeding people into your buyer pyramid that will then buy from you later.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That sounds pretty scalable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
now it's
gas.
scalable. It's gas. What else? What are you doing that's not scalable?
Obviously, right now our webinars, when we were testing them live, you can't just keep doing them live. So now we're just moving them to automated. And so I guess our plan to replace it, because one of the issues is time zone. So you pick a terrible time for your webinars, you're fricked. Like no one's going to show up. It's over. And so what we found working with other webinars, what we're going to start doing is when someone signs up, it'll just stream at 7 p.m. in their time zone, no matter where they are in the world. So it's always 7 p.m. at night. It's like and if it's
All the
Thursday,
pages auto change.
yeah, all the time. And then if they miss that, then you send them to an encore, like classic, but then it's at 2 p.m. the next day. So the way we're going to replace it is we're going to start doing that. And then maybe we'll put a low ticket in front of it. But
That's
I'm
interesting.
low-key so bullish on webinars and live events right now.
I've heard like 6 people say
Because
that.
I'm a low
about
ticket
how it's
person,
working
bro.
for them,
Like
not even about how like it
I
could.
love low ticket.
I told you we should do it.
I know you said what
I
was the
own-
challenge idea?
That's the workshop one.
You should do a challenge, yeah.
Challenge workshop.
Low tickets are great.
It's basically the same
But
thing.
I'm
just like-
pushing.
I know, right? Well, that's what. Yeah, 'cause
It's
you
a lot of
said-
work.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off, but yeah, 'cause-
Sorry.
But you can
no, they're
you
like
can
it's
live
full-time
simulate it.
teams.
But you can
It
live.
was like,
I know
I
somebody
need a
running it
bathroom
with
and
one
slippers.
person on their team though. It's one guru, one guy, and you live simulate it on Zoom after you do it once. Russell Brunson is selling online one. I
Why
heard
is
that's
everyone
live
saying that it
simulated.
takes like 7 people 24 hours a day
Well, if
for
you're
like
doing them
4
live,
days?
like I guess, but when you live
If you're
simulate
doing
them on
like
Zoom,
if you're doing it high production style,
It's like everyone on all the time
it's-
for days.
it takes
yeah.
a lot.
But do you need to do hybrid?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We've never
Friggin-
run one.
But
like that.
like,
No, but even like your first one, just having a basic ass page where you
Yeah.
and ideally it's paid, because like if it's free, the show rates sometimes like as low
That's what
as
Eddie said
20%.
yesterday. He's like, I will no longer
Yeah.
run free.
So
Unless you,
challenges.
but
Yeah.
What the
it comes yes and no.
yeah, 'cause
Yes and
so
no.
the biggest offers.
No.
So the biggest offers are
No,
free
no.
webinars out there.
No,
like,
because
right now, so.
it comes down to economics.
Mhm.
If you have,
Back end.
if you're going a volume play, cost per lead is going to be lower for challenge
Yep.
sign up. You're going to have a VIP option.
Yep.
If you can get people to purchase the VIP through emails, obviously OTO page.
and you do that post opt, or you
Well,
do
so-
that
so-
option on the front.
so
you have 2
opt-in-
options on the front.
No, it's
No,
the
opt-in
opt-in, then it's
VIP,
VIP upgrade.
thank you page.
Got it, like OTO, okay.
But then heavily pushed in the group with bonuses, and so it just comes down to economics at the end of the day. Because
Happens later.
we've ran a ton of challenges over the past year that have done, I won't say
Dox it.
Just
Big
say
numbers.
millions, 10 millions, billions.
couple $100K per challenge for sure.
Yeah.
And whether it's free or paid, it comes down to the economics of like, are you going to get a cheap enough lead on the front end to hit the volume target that you need, to
Yeah.
hit the cash target that you need on the back end?
Yeah.
Because the paid acquisition of a buyer lead, sure, it's going to show better, it's going to close better, but typically you're going to have less volume. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
what
we've
can the
played
spend
the volume
be?
thing
Maybe-
forever.
Maybe, you know.
We've played the volume
No,
thing
yeah,
forever.
like
And
I've
you
done,
have
I've
good
done that
annual-
model
How do you
before.
guys make volume work if you're not sending emails like crazy? Like, because I've heard that. I've heard like all these people say that they do. It's a volume game. It's a volume game. But like,
thank you page.
well, I mean, seriously, like, we have a
You can't win.
copywriter that does 2 emails a day every single day as blasts, in addition to the automations they'll get that are like specific and contextual for whatever they did, right? And like that's volume, and we have insane amounts of content that then goes on site that if they want to make their way to there and like and all this stuff
but
and
I think,
consume. But like these other guys are like, we do volume. They don't have any of that, or very limited to that, to YC, and they still get it to work. It's like we have to have those touch points.
But are you forcing them into like a challenge event or like a workshop event?
No.
Or is it long-term evergreen?
It's kind of like that's what it's just like a
different model.
long-term
So
niche.
it's a different, it's a different
Because
model.
when we just sign up for a free event, I put them in like a WhatsApp group, or you put them around so we can just.
It's forced attention, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the like lead magnet funnels and tripwires and stuff. I'll see like a 60 to 67 day ascension to a book call on those.
Wow.
Which is rough, but the cost per lead is so cheap. And
That's
so
interesting.
again, like it comes back to what you were saying, which is like if your VSL is capped on a direct market of 3%, you need top of funnel leads. Can you afford within the overall budget that you're pushing per month to have like a certain percent that is just lead magnet leads that are coming in within a certain period of time are going to ascend to a call?
That would be
and
crazy.
close?
I can't even imagine how long that would be for us.
I think almost everything is scalable.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can put a machine. It's like I was thinking like events or this or that. Like that would suck, but like people.
Well,
do
I
it with
think
machines.
like people look at like a finite thing, and then they're like, oh, this isn't scalable. But then there's everyone's making everything work, and then there's always just a ton of shit around whatever the single thing is.
But some of those brands also have like a 2 out of 5 Trustpilot rating. So.
But they're also scaled.
But they're also doing, they're also doing 5 times our
I'd say
revenue.
two
But it's
things
like,
you
at what
can't
cost?
scale.
You have to choose what you're willing to pay for,
Yeah.
like what the cost is, because
Well, no, I would say there's also examples of people doing pretty much the same thing with good
probably.
trust pilots.
true.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yeah,
like
so you can think of
zooming
machine
out
learning.
more and then thinking of the value vortex and how everything's intertangled.
But like even people that are running like, for example, VSLs at like a heavy clip, they don't just have one.
Correct.
They have multiple.
Yeah.
And like that's
It's just
I
they
think-
turn.
But
it
then
into
it's still
machine.
VSLs, so it's like VSL.
I didn't
but
say
it's
that.
just multiple.
I didn't say that VSLs. Are
Everything
not
is scalable.
I did not say that VSLs are not scalable. I said
know-
being over reliant on one VSL or one
Yeah,
acquisition.
it's always
mechanism.
more than just one thing.
All right,
I would
here's
say,
wrapping.
hold on, I have some non-scalable things. I have 2 non-scalable things.
This conversation.
Ads that don't have ROI.
Yeah, this is the most non-scalable
Yeah,
conversation we'll not have again.
Ryan's cutting us
Ads
off.
that don't have ROI. Can't scale that.
True.
And then
He's
you
cooking.
can't.
This is why he's legit.
And then you
This is why he has a
and then you
Lamborghini.
Death
can't
and taxes.
scale. You can't scale a
product.
dirty pixel. If you have fucked up pixel data and you scale into that, that's gonna fuck you up.
That's fair. That's fair.
What we got next?
What do we got next?
Let's
what are
do
we
some
on?
like fun or more fun questions.
All right, we can do quick ones.
Quick ones, yeah.
Quick ones. These aren't fun.
Tell
These are
us
just
the
quick.
scariest
Quick.
story.
What is the
about
boldest
your real
move you're
estate
seriously? Yeah, right. Yeah, tell us your scariest story. What is the boldest move you're seriously considering in 12 months? Within the next 12 months, like the
give that to
biggest like out of like what is something crazy you're trying to accomplish in the next 12 months? It can be personal or professional.
We're trying to
12
fucking get
months.
to like 8 to 10 million a
plead the
month,
fifth.
and I'm
Yeah.
putting my absolute fucking dick on the table. And if it doesn't work, you know, it's like that's very stressful because the thing's way bigger and you got big payroll.
He said we're scaling to 8 to 10 million a month.
Oh,
and
yeah, cool,
We're just
sweet.
going off.
We have like we have $1 million a month payroll. And yeah, you know,
Yeah, you need to talk to somebody. Everyone's like, you good?
I don't know,
it's
man.
harder to roll up the bigger it gets. It's harder to
Yeah,
keep
100%.
leaning in the more team
What do you tell
have.
yourself? What do you
with
tell
100
yourself
something
when
employees.
you're facing? Okay, you want to do that next. What do you tell yourself every day so you keep going? There's got to be a conversation in your head that gets. You got that big.
I
sigh.
have a fundamental belief that I can do it because somebody else is doing it.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. And then number 2 is that's just my appetite. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be satisfied with something standing still. I like to continue to
Yeah,
evolve
like-
and grow and expand.
Why?
And
What does that
Familiar
get you?
with your appetite.
What does that get
Watch
you?
what you did.
Figure out what I can do. Figure out. I mean, I know the general
Yeah.
trajectory of where I want to go in business, and it's just big. So, got to do it.
Yeah. Well, Luke just said they're on the because somebody else has done it. I've said that like 50 times on here. I'm like,
Yeah.
if I
Yeah,
am
it's
not the most creative person in the world. I'm not the 0 to 1 person, but like if there's literally a framework, I talk about buying the courses or whatever. But if
Yeah.
like I see somebody that's literally running this exact model to pick a different market and whatever,
Yeah.
but like they're running the model and they're doing 10 million a month, and it's like dumbed down. It's like they're running a direct to card offer that then has a setter team that goes to closers. The price ranges are around this, and it's like now it's volume, and like that is the extreme dumbed down version. But like the model can push to 10 million to 15 million a month. And then like what they're talking about the event, and I talked about this in the video here yesterday, was like, and then you add these things for low ticket ascension once you get to these rates, and you add recurring on the back end for at these rates, and then this push, like if someone's doing it at that scale at 150, 200 plus, there's people in the fitness space doing 300 million just like low with that whole machine, but all you see is this, and it's like, okay, like someone can do it. So why couldn't we?
Yeah.
But going beyond that is extremely difficult for my brain.
Yeah.
Being like, what is the unknown? I talked to Adam Young on here, and he was like, I basically said that, yeah, we're trying to push this thing to like, people do it at 10 million, so we can do it. And he was like, what would you have to do to get 50 million a month? And I was like, I don't know. And it's like I think it's Cardone or Dan Sullivan's one, or I think it's one of those two, but they talk about, it's like the 10X thing. It's like, if you're doing your annual planning, it's like, how are we going to grow 30% or 50% this year? You have like 40 things you could do.
2x is better than 10x.
Yeah,
Or 10x
yeah, that's
is
it.
better
Whatever
than
that one
10x
is.
is easier than 2x.
Yeah, 10x is easier than 2x. And he's like, okay, if you're
I want
gonna
a
do
2x.
now, instead of growing double or whatever 50%,
God,
you're gonna grow 10
I'm
times.
already
It's like,
at
what can you
1.2.
do? And you're just like scratch, and there's like 2 here or maybe none of them, and there's 2 things that you can do fundamentally shift to get to that, and it's like that's about as far as my brain can go on that kind of stuff before it's like, I'm gonna create Apple, or you know what I mean? Like I don't go there in my forecasting abilities. So
I feel like the boldest thing that I have to do is step out of operating. Like I think I found out where I best roll in my business. And
Josh
it's
is
like I have to
hiring.
let go.
What are you
I-
hiring for?
he's
I'm
hiring
not
for
gonna
like
hire.
an
I'm
ops.
just gonna. Craig and I'm probably gonna bring stuff partner with Craig, people like Craig who have things you can operate and scale, because
He's so
I
creative.
try to like fit into doing it and it'll just like burn, and so I have to let go of hand it off and then just do a bunch of that, because I can get the deals and get the connections, but it's scary to like let go of that, because when you start so young you control everything, like you're letting it up.
Even
it's
if you
like,
start old, you control everything now.
Ooh.
That's a limiting belief.
Josh answered the scale question. It's him right now.
Yeah, I
but
can't scale
it's
me.
real.
It's like
Yeah.
because I have all these offer ideas. It's like realistically I can't do it by myself. So
Yeah.
So what stops you from building a team then?
me, I'm not a manager. I'm an entrepreneur. So I can't manage. I can build a manager, but why not just find someone who already is or can operate or can do that? Like I want Ryans in my team. Like I want the Blakes. I kind of
wants
want
the Codys.
want to be this dude. I can get this
we're
dude
not
like where
supposed to
you
name
get to
reference.
5 whatever. But it's like getting past it. You had to get a Ryan. You had to get a freaking Blake. So now it's those people. That's why all my friends are operators. I only surround myself with operators, not entrepreneurs, because I need to see like what makes a good operator, who's good, feel it out, develop that relationship, and then and then also operators, they share stuff, and then as an entrepreneur it helps me see further.
Yeah.
And then I just can cast that vision to myself or to operators, and so
It's real.
that's the next step.
I would challenge the limiting belief though.
Do it, yeah, do
Yeah.
it.
But just the like one of the things that I've learned is like as a leader, like your job isn't even to know how to do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to design what the vision is and what the outcome looks like. Like what does success look like?
Yeah.
Like you can learn to manage, but like
Yeah.
you can manage people to outcomes. Like the way that I teach my team to lead, which I say lead versus manage,
Yep.
is to lead on outcomes, not on tasks. And if
Yeah.
you hire monkeys, then they're not going to be able to figure out how to get the outcome.
Fair,
So it's
fair.
like finding people that have, in their past experiences, achieved outcomes that you're looking to achieve in your
True.
company. And then literally, like I do this
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like departments that I don't understand, like technology. I don't understand it, but like I write a document for what does success look like to me in my terms from like technology. It means the websites just work all the time. It means like our things connect. Like I don't know all the technical
Okay,
language, but
I
like
like that.
I can break it down in layman's terms, and like I give that to my senior web dev, and it's like I'm like, this is what success looks like. Whatever things you do on the back end, I don't really care, but this is the outcome that I'm looking for. And I do the same thing with my CFO. I don't know how to do this crazy financial forecasting, but like I give, it's like giving
Yeah,
people
yeah.
outcomes, and if they're talented, they can go get those outcomes.
Okay.
If they're monkeys,
I like
they're
that.
not going to get the outcomes regardless. So it's like it doesn't. So
Framing as leading over managing does free up that like managing.
managing is like you're
it's-
micromanaging
Yeah,
the
that's what's
tasks
like,
they
what
do.
the
And if
frick?
you hire people that don't know what they're doing, you have to micromanage them, and then you can't scale because you're just chasing them down for what the tasks they're doing versus leading them based on the outcome that they should be achieving for your business.
And with what your model is,
there is copy this.
What? yeah. With your model, there is plenty of comp and room on the table for someone like that.
Yeah.
To be like extremely motivated for quite a smaller portion of the pie.
Yeah.
Because you have so many offers, because you have so many pieces. Like just doing the comp plus getting the right person. Like,
bro, I have studs that are like 6 figures, just that low 6 figures that work in my companies. Studs, like talented people. Like you don't have to give away the farm. I'm not saying partnerships are bad. Like if you find good partnerships, like just challenging more so the thought of like.
I like that because I feel like and that's why I think financial models are so important. What I'm realizing is because financial model shows me the outcome. And like even today, I hit up our media buyer and I was like, "Here's our best case." It was like Josh Troy's like best case, base case, worst case, whatever. And I sent him the sheet. I'm like, "All right, stay within this. Like, what do we need to do
worst
to get
case
there?"
is like 40% above.
Yeah.
It's like, no, these are the KPIs. Yeah.
And so that's I like that. Lead instead of manage. Yeah, because I can lead. I can sell outcomes.
You can lead the outcomes. You cast your vision. The way you attract those people is you cast the vision of what you're building. And then if you cast the vision and they want to come work for you, then you like just show them what success means to you, and if and then you lead them to that. And if they're not doing it, then it's like, okay, well, you're not the right fit.
All right, guys, we're 40 in. We good? Anyone have any final closing fun?
I don't know what he was talking about for like 10 minutes.
Well, guess what? 90% of the people that somehow ended up on these is that.
Short answer.
It is. So, all right, cool. Tomorrow I'll do the month in review. Sorry for the mobile, terrible audio and things.